Um, okay, so this Google Sheets has a set of formulas that basically help you to identify two main types of keywords from your Search Console data. So the keywords are donkey keywords and show horse keywords. Basically, those names are just to refer to the value of the keywords. Like donkey keyword is basically, you'll be able to see this once I activate I go through the entire Google Sheet. So basically, it's an automated sheet that identifies those keywords. So the donkey keywords, basically, it may be a keyword that has very few clicks or is low in search rankings for your website, but it is carrying a very heavy load. Let's say it's doing heavy work, it's doing heavy duty work for the level at which it is. Let's say the donkey keyword maybe has maybe 20 clicks from Google, and maybe the highest keywords you have, maybe they have 200 clicks each or 300 or more from Google maybe in a month. So basically the keyword that has 20 clicks, maybe it looks like it's underperforming. But when you look at maybe it is on page 2 of Google. It's on page 2 of Google, but it is giving you 20 clicks. So it's giving you a low number of clicks, but it is on page 2. And let's say the top keyword you have maybe is number 1. Is on page 1, and it is number 1, ranking number 1, and it is giving you 200 clicks from Google. So basically that means that the keyword that is on page 2, if it moves to page 1, the page 2 is basically the average position, because basically it might not necessarily be getting clicks from page 2, but when you look at the average position, maybe it has been going up and down, but the average position is on page 2. So if you manage to push it to page 1, it might actually give you like 1,000 clicks, even more than the top keyword. So for the level at which it is really pushing very hard. So it's a donkey keyword. So it's doing hard labor, and yet you can't see it. Basically it doesn't look interesting. But if you just improve it, it might do better than the top keyword. And then the show horse keyword is basically a keyword that looks good, but in reality it is underperforming. Let's say it's the top keyword, maybe it has 1,000 clicks from Google in a month, and if it's let's say the click-through rate compared to the rest of the keywords that you have, maybe the click-through rate is very low. So basically it just looks nice. It's there for show. It just makes you feel good, but it's not capable of really pulling in a heavy load. So basically it's just a show keyword. So basically, you might improve it, you might be able to improve it, or it might not be possible to improve that keyword. So it's different from a unicorn keyword, because a unicorn keyword basically maybe would have everything right, high click-through rate, high number of clicks and all that. So basically a show horse keyword it just looks not good, but compared to other keywords that you have, it's not really performing very well. So basically those are things you can identify easily even without, let's say, an automated system. But once you're dealing with maybe several thousand keywords, you can't really, you need a way to identify the best keywords out of 1,000. So you can't just eyeball your keywords. So this Google Sheet basically carries a formula. I'll go through the formula. So it carries a formula that estimates, basically it gauges how the keywords are performing relative to the rest of the keywords. So the data comes from your Google Search Console, and basically to get that data, so first of all you start from this first page of the Google Sheet. It's the page called Submit. So you have to pick only these columns, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only these columns of data from Google Search Console. On Google Search Console, you'll get more than these columns. You'll get the mobile device, the device source, and the URL, the country. But this formula just focuses on these five variables, because it focuses on just estimating on measuring the quality of each keyword. So the keywords are called queries in Google Search Console. So it measures the quality of each keyword, and now overall, not for a specific page, not for a specific country or device. For something more advanced than that, that's something else that I'll be able to offer, basically as a paid service. So just something like $50. That's all, so that I can be able now to basically show the basically the results for each page, for each country, for each device, for each type of device, for basically for very many other parameters. And so this free version, so basically it just shows the overall value of the keyword for the entire website. So on this first page, so how to use this thing, basically you first of all need to make sure that this switch is off. This is a switch. When you click on this drop down, you see there is an option for off and on. So before you enter the data, you have to make sure you click this off option and make sure it is off. When it is off, it's orange, or it's orange color. So that way the formula does not start calculating until you have the data here. Otherwise it will crash. It will be hard to respond, because it will be copying. When you're putting in the data, it will be automatically calculating while you're putting in the data. And if you have maybe thousands or maybe 100,000 rows here, everything will crash. So make sure this is off. Then to put in the data, maybe if you already have the data from Google Search Console, you have pulled it maybe using any other tool, from another Google Sheet, you can just come and paste the data here. Make sure the columns are in this order: clicks, CTR, impressions, position, and query. Don't mix up the order. It must be in that order, otherwise it won't work. So if you don't have the data from your Search Console, you can use extensions. You can use the extensions like KPI Bees. So KPI Bees, when you select KPI Bees, you can create a query and it pulls the data from your Google Search Console. So here you can see you can pull in the data from Google Search Console here. So it will just take you through the process, and then you select just this sets of data: clicks, CTR, impressions, position, and query. Nothing else. So once you make sure they're in these columns, also they should be in these columns. So don't change that. So once you have the data there, then that's when you can click, you can turn the switch on. So this will take it, if you have hundreds of thousands of rows, 100,000 rows or something like that, so maybe 50,000 rows of data, it can take a while and it might hang. So the best thing to do, if it takes too long, you can either try to reload the page, or you can just close the tab and then wait for a few minutes for the formula to work out in the Google Sheet, and then you reopen the Google Sheet. So right now you can see from here, this indicates that it is working out the formula. So it has stopped, but it's still going on until it finishes, until it turns blue here. So this switch, when it turns blue, you might be sure that it has finished calculating. But you also check here, you check also this cloud thing here. So if it's saying saving or saved, once it says saved, then it has finished. And if this bar here is still moving, you still see this green bar here. If it's still there, then it's still calculating. So you have to wait until it finishes, so that you can be able to check the results. The results will be in this page, the result page. So the switch has turned on, but it's still calculating as seen from this green bar. So the results are in this page, and this page shows the unique queries. So the unique queries will be basically one individual query, basically without repetition. Each query without repetition, because once you pull the data from Google Search Console, you have the keywords repeated all over. So the unique queries, we just show you the unique queries, but this formula only calculates the donkey and shows keywords for keywords that have clicks from Google Search Console, because it cannot calculate this measurement is not possible for keywords that don't have any click-throughs. So take note of that. So for something to do with the calculation for keywords that have no clicks or no click-throughs from Google, then that requires a different type of calculation that involves the search volumes of the estimated search volumes of the keywords from let's say from using tools like Ahrefs and the rest. So that's a different. I might consider doing that in a future let's say kind of tool, but that will require maybe a connection with Ahrefs or such like tool. So for now, this one just calculates the measures for the keywords that have let's say that have click-throughs. So right now the data has finished calculating. The green bar is gone, and here you don't see the word saving because this cloud usually shows saving, and the switch is on now, so it has turned blue. So we go to the unique queries. These keywords are just random words, they just piled up, and the data I just used randomly. So unique queries, so this table here, it's not, you don't need to check it, but if you want to check the unique queries, you can use it to check the unique queries. So there's also one hidden page that has some other formulas. So that one, since it's just formulas that are not needed, you don't need it. But if you want to view it, there are hidden sheets, so you can show the clicked. It's here. It's called the clicked queries. So this one has a bit more. It's just calculations, so you don't need to check that, since most of the calculations there are the calculations that directly impact the let's say the results are on these pages that are visible: unique queries and results. So on the unique queries page, you can see the list of queries and then the total clicks per query. So it has added up the total clicks for each query from the data that comes from Google Search Console, and then the total impressions per query, the count per query. The count per query is basically the number of times that query appeared on the Google Search Console data, because right here you have like the word attach. Attach might appear twice here or something, or 3 times or 4 times, but the clicks are 3, the impressions are 7, but the times it appears here is maybe twice. So that's the count. So the average position per query basically gets the average position for each query, the average click-through rate for each query, the total clicks per count per query. So basically this like a division, dividing the clicks by the count. This the clicks by the count. So the total clicks per average position per query. So the total clicks by the average position. So the total impressions per average position. Total impressions per average position. So this total impressions per average position is not used in the calculation for measuring the keyword. This total impressions, and then this total impressions per average position, and total impressions per count. These two are not used in measurements of the value of the keyword, because these two they do not directly impact the clicks, the clicks on the keyword, because there is no direct relationship that can be established from this one. So the 3 let's say measurements that are used in the 3 metrics that are used in measuring the keywords are the average CTR, because CTR is the clicks per impressions, and then the total clicks per count, and then the total clicks per average position. So basically those 3 help in measuring the let's say the value of the keyword. So once you go to the results page, it automatically highlights these keywords, these columns based on the value. So a green highlight basically means something is, let's say it's higher value, and then red is lower value. So green is something that overperforms, red is something that underperforms. So the actual results of the keywords are on this column, the last column, which is P. So let me just reload this page, since it seems to be sometimes the formulas, some of the formulas might not have, maybe may not be complete or something. Okay, but now I think it's okay. So basically, just a moment, and once it does that, it's just reloading right now. So as you can see, this last row is actually the result, where you see the donkey keywords and the show horse keywords. Here I've called it high impact queries and queries that need improvement. So the high impact queries are basically the donkey keywords. They have a high impact regardless of the position in which they are or the number of clicks they have. And then the queries that need improvement are the show horse keywords. They are keywords that basically they show a high value, but they need improvement. So basically, when you see a green here, this is a very high impact keyword. So let's check out this green row. This is the keyword. The query is badge, and it has 35 total clicks. So it's not at the top, but it has 35 total clicks, and the average position is 1. So it's at the top of its of the first page, and then it has a high click-through rate because relatively high click-through rate because it's a bit green highlight, but it may need improvement. And then the total clicks per count is probably the highest. So it has a very high impact because you see the total clicks per count. Let's say every time the keyword appears, it gets more clicks than every compared to other keywords. And so the total clicks per average position also, it's relatively high. And then these other two metrics, the total impressions per average position, it's just it's not the highest, but it's still on the high side. And then the total impressions per count per query. So these two last rows were the rows that the two last columns are the columns that are not applicable to the calculation of the value of the keyword, but they just add some, let's say, extra measurement. So basically, this one, this keyword that has 35 clicks, and it has a total impressions of 50, and total count per query, the count per query is 3 times. So it appears, it actually appeared 3 times, but it has 35 clicks. So, and the top, compare that with the top keyword, which appeared 7 times, basically appearing on the, let's say, on Google search engine results page. So the top query appeared 7 times. That's more than twice, a bit more than twice that keyword, but it had 51 clicks. So if we were to expect that one, it should have had more than 70 clicks. But this one has 35 clicks. So basically, this query has it pushes harder than that top keyword over there. So basically, it's for the level at which it is, it does a harder job than that one. And you can see also the top query had a click-through rate of 0.6 compared to this one that had 0.7. So basically this one has a higher click-through rate and this one has a lower click-through rate. So basically it had this one does pretty well for the level at which it is. So basically this data is a bit just random, so it does not represent like a real website, but when you do it on your own website, you'll be able to see a very useful very useful information, since I've done it on several websites and seen a big difference from, let's say, the donkey keywords compared to the show host keyword. So let's say a show host keyword is this one here. So from the result column, a show host keyword is this one. It has -6, so it is lacking something. So let's check. It has -6. It has 41 clicks. So as you can see, it has 41 clicks, but it is ranked below these keywords that have lower clicks from Google. So basically, let's see, because it has the average position, it is on position 2.5. So this one can, it would have been here, it would have been below this other keyword at 41. It would have been with the same line, but the average position for it is 2.5. So basically it needs improvement. So you can basically see that this one, maybe if you improve it by let's say it gets to position 1, then it should have more than 41 clicks. So basically you're able to see that there are some keywords that they seem to be performing better than others, let's say by the number of clicks that they have, but they still need a lot more improvement. And here maybe the click-through rate is quite good, and then the total clicks per count is like half of this donkey keyword. So this one needs, if you double it, because the donkey keyword has almost double the clicks per count. So every time it shows up, every time the donkey keyword shows up on Google search engine result page, it gets like almost twice the number of clicks that this shows keyword gets. So, and then the total clicks per average position is 16. So basically, if they are in the same position, if this show host keyword was in the same position as the donkey keyword, it will be getting about half as many clicks. So basically it needs improvement. So basically it seems to be like a top keyword, but it needs quite a bit of improvement. So basically you can be able to identify like these two are let's say the donkey keyword, basically probably the donkey keyword has done everything possible that it can do. So it might be at a low, let's say at a low number of clicks, but it has outperformed at that level that it is. But the one that needs improvement is a keyword that seems to be performing well. So this one, which has 41 clicks, so that one, if increase, let's say it if you raise it from position 2.5 to position 1, it should have maybe 82 clicks. So it should be even above this top keyword, which has 51. So basically, it's something that you might be able to identify that even just by looking through your keywords. If you have just a few keywords, you can identify that. But if you have like 1,000 keywords, you want something that you can just come to this row, this column, and identify all this green has outperformed, and then this red needs improvement, and then you just identify which ones to start with, so that basically you don't have to read through all this data. So I just put the data there available so that you can check and cross-check and see whether this information is accurate. Otherwise, you don't even need to check this. So when you look at this data here, the first column and the second column are basically the let's say the values that are used to calculate now the ranking for this keyword. Excuse me. So basically, the weighted total clicks per query and the weighting used for the total clicks per query. So this is basically data that are used when you check the hidden page, which I showed you on how to check from the view tab. Basically, the hidden page is clicked queries, and there you can see the formula so that you can basically verify whether it's a good formula to check, to use or not. So basically, you can see the formula is right here, and it involves, you can see that there are rows that are used here. H2H is the total clicks per query, and it starts from here. L2L. L2L is average click-through per query divided by the total click-through per query. So this gives you the relative click-through per query compared to everything else. And then M2M gives you the total clicks per count divided by the total clicks per count of all the keywords, so that it gives you the relative clicks per count. So basically, the formula gives you the relative, let's say, the relative value of each click compared to every other query. So when you check through that, you'll be able to see how it applies. So that's basically it, and you can be able to use that, and then to identify let's say the keywords that you can, let's say you can basically you can just improve to have the highest impact. Let's say you want to see what keyword should I improve that will have the highest impact. So if this one you improve it, you can turn it into the top keyword just by improving this one. So basically it shows you which one to improve. So you can see from the order in which you have this, -6, if you improve to, you get from -6 to at least 0, you'll get basically something big. Here's another one, -5. So this one, -5, you can estimate what you can, basically you can estimate what you might achieve from that. So it does not, but it does not give a correlation. So with the, let's say with the paid version, I'll be able to include like a correlation to indicate like if you change a certain parameter, will it have which level of impact will it like double the click-throughs? Will it increase the click-throughs by a certain percentage? So the correlation will be able, I'll be able to include that in the paid version of this tool. So this one, it just shows you like the ones that need improvement and the ones that might have the biggest improvement. So that's basically it, and I think that's all for now. So